Welcome back to our channel HD Ultra Rare Coins. If you are a coin collector, watch video carefully. I will tell you about coins that make you a millionaire overnight. Top 1. The year is 1998, a year not too distant, and yet far enough to become a beacon for numismatists hunting treasures among common change. Among millions of coins struck that year, one coin, the humble 2 pence bearing the dignified profile of Queen Elizabeth II, would go on to spark global fascination, mystique, and ultimately, an astounding value that belies its everyday appearance. To understand why the 1998 Elizabeth II 2 pence coin has become a multi-million-dollar artifact, we must return to the heart of its era. The late 1990s in Britain were marked by subtle transitions. The country stood at the cusp of a new millennium, its traditions enduring while its technologies and societal norms evolved at an unprecedented pace. Princess Diana had passed a year earlier, leaving the monarchy facing emotional tides and deep introspection. In such a climate, even coinage, those small metallic signatures of national identity, carried new symbolic weight. The 2 pence coin had been introduced in 1971 as part of the decimalization of British currency. It was a practical coin, designed not to impress but to serve. Its design remained largely unchanged over the years, a portrait of continuity and stability. But in 1998, something happened, something subtle, something rare, and something that would remain unnoticed by the masses for years. Only the keenest eyes would eventually detect it. At first glance, the 1998 2 pence coin seems unremarkable. It bears the familiar second portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, crafted by Raphael Maklauf, regal, composed, wearing the royal diadem. On the reverse, the badge of the Prince of Wales, with its plumes and coronet, sits proudly above the inscription, Ich diene, meaning, I serve. Below it reads, 2 pence. But herein lies a clue. You see, in 1982, the Royal Mint made a decision. The word new was removed from the coin's reverse. Until then, the denomination read new pence, as part of a transitional effort to familiarize the public with the decimal system. Post-1982, it reverted to the standard 2 pence, which was expected to remain indefinitely. But then comes 1998, an anomaly hidden in copper. For reasons still debated among experts, a minuscule number of 2 pence coins minted that year bore the new pence inscription, an inscription that hadn't been used for 16 years. How this happened remains one of the Royal Mint's most fascinating mysteries. Some speculate it was a die error, a momentary lapse in the minting process where an old die was accidentally used. Others believe it was a test run, an experimental issue never meant to reach circulation. A few even whisper of deliberate tampering, an inside job by a mint employee who knew the coin's future rarity. Regardless of the cause, the result was a minuscule number of 1998 coins with an anachronistic label, a ghost of the past resurrected. The rarity of these era coins cannot be overstated. Out of millions of standard 1998 2 pence coins, only a handful with the new pence era are known to exist. Most were likely spent, lost, or discarded before anyone noticed. But the few that survived became holy grails in the hands of those who understood their significance. Imagine the thrill of discovery, finding a coin you've handled 1,000 times before, only to realize it bears a design never meant to be seen again. That thrill has led collectors across continents to scour their pockets, drawers, and dusty jars of change, hoping for lightning to strike. What makes the 1998 era 2 pence coin so desirable isn't just its rarity. It's the confluence of history, error, and intrigue. In the world of numismatics, the most valuable coins are those that combine an anomaly with a story. A coin that shouldn't exist becomes a question mark in solid form, a question that demands a price. And over time, that price has soared. The craftsmanship of the coin remains top tier. The Royal Mint, even in its era, produced a piece that retains every crisp line and detailed etching. Queen Elizabeth's portrait on the obverse is as graceful as ever, with the letters Elizabeth II D.G.Reg.F.D. encircling her likeness in timeless reverence. The surface of the coin, when well preserved, reveals a brilliant coppery sheen, especially in uncirculated specimens. Some even exhibit what numismatists refer to as luster, that original mint shimmer that catches light like a gem. It's important to remember that while the 2-pence coin is among the lowest denominations in British currency, this fact only amplifies the value of its rare era versions. The idea that something so ordinary could hold such extraordinary worth plays directly into the psyche of collectors. There's a romance to the narrative, a pauper turned prince, a forgotten object suddenly becoming the center of global bidding wars. It's poetry in metal. The path to fame for the 1998 new pence era coin wasn't instant. In fact, for several years, it flew under the radar. Only around the early 2010s did whispers begin circulating on numismatic forums, local auction houses, and rare coin exhibitions. Collectors began to notice discrepancies. A few sharp-eyed individuals pulled 1998 coins from old change boxes and noticed something strange: the word new where it shouldn't be. This discovery sparked a wave of interest, and those lucky few who held on to their strange finds soon found themselves holding a fortune. As more eyes turned to this mysterious coin, its legend grew. Major auction houses began to feature it in rare coin catalogs. High-profile collectors from the United States, Japan, Germany, and the Middle East started placing private bids. The first known public sale of one such era coin fetched just under $90,000, a remarkable figure for a piece of metal weighing just 7.12 grams. But the story didn't end there. As the frenzy grew, so did the prices. It's easy to understand why. Each coin is not just rare, it's a living contradiction. A 1998 coin bearing a 1981 design element. A small mistake with enormous consequences. And for collectors, the draw isn't just monetary. Owning one is like holding a piece of history that escaped correction, a relic that challenges the perfection of modern minting. On the global market, demand for the 1998 new pence era has reached a fever pitch. Coins in excellent condition, especially those graded by independent numismatic services as Mint State (MS), have fetched astronomical figures. Recently, one particular specimen, verified as an uncirculated MS-67, was sold in a private international sale for a jaw-dropping $28 million. Yes, you heard that right, $28 million for a 2-pence coin that, on the surface, looks just like the millions of others. Why such a massive price tag? It's a confluence of perfect conditions: rarity, demand, condition, historical curiosity, and competitive collectors with deep pockets. That particular coin was the only known specimen with a pristine die alignment and a mirror-like finish, almost as if the coin itself knew it was destined for greatness. When it went under the hammer, fierce bidding ensued. The final buyer, rumored to be a royal coin enthusiast from the Gulf region, reportedly wept with joy upon acquiring it. But here's the most exciting part: there may be more out there. Yes, right now, in someone's pocket change, purse, or forgotten piggy bank, another 1998 2-pence with new pence could be hiding. That's the thrill that fuels this modern treasure hunt. Every copper coin you flip could be the one. Every trip to the market, every coin rolled at a bank, every handful of change returned from a shop carries with it a hint of possibility. That's why, to this day, thousands of hobbyists, collectors, and everyday dreamers check their 2-pence coins, just in case. This phenomenon has given new life to the coin collecting world. Younger generations, inspired by viral posts and YouTube videos just like this one, are entering the numismatic scene with fresh eyes and fervent hope. Coin fairs and conventions now host entire booths dedicated to 2-pence eras. Appraisal services are flooded with inquiries. It's a movement born from curiosity, and it shows no signs of slowing, and it's not just about profit. For many, collecting rare coins like the 1998 Elizabeth II 2-pence is about preservation. It's about holding on to a fragment of national identity, a reminder of how human imperfection can accidentally create beauty. These coins have become talismans, conversation starters, and symbols of patience rewarded. So the next time you receive change in the UK, or come across a dusty jar of old coins, take a second look. Examine that 2-pence carefully. Is it from 1998? Does it say new pence instead of the expected 2 pence? If so, you may just be holding one of the most valuable coins on earth. And if that coin is in superb condition, your life could change in a heartbeat. Top 2. Today, we journey into the hidden depths of one such piece, an unsung treasure of the modern British Mint, the United Kingdom Elizabeth II 2 pence coin from the year 2005. The story begins in a time when the world was rapidly evolving. The year 2005 was a remarkable chapter not just in British history, but globally. It was a year filled with political transformation, cultural milestones, and global challenges. Yet, quietly nestled among the events of that year, in the unassuming walls of the Royal Mint, a small circular coin was struck, copper-plated steel glinting softly under the minting presses. That coin bore the familiar face of Queen Elizabeth II and a value so modest it would barely purchase a postage stamp. But sometimes, what the eyes miss, the heart of a collector sees: potential, mystery, and the magic of rarity. To understand the full weight of this coin's significance, one must first appreciate the role of the 2 pence coin in British numismatics. Introduced as part of the decimalization of British currency in 1971, the 2 pence coin had undergone subtle but meaningful transitions throughout its life. It was part of an effort to modernize British currency, to bring it into line with metric logic and to make transactions smoother for a new era. And while the decimal coins were practical, they also held a link to the country's long-standing traditions, a balance of old and new encapsulated in copper-plated steel. The 2005 issue came at a peculiar time, a moment when the Royal Mint was re-evaluating designs, adjusting production volumes, and ensuring that coinage kept pace with technology and demand. Though millions were minted, some coins, whether by accident, by design test, or by unnoticed variation, were destined to stand apart from the rest. And it's here that our rare 2005 specimen shines. At first glance, the 2005 Elizabeth II 2 pence coin seems no different from its siblings. The obverse side features the elegant portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Ian Rank Broadley. Introduced in 1998, Rank Broadley's portrait is known for its realism, a mature and poised depiction of the monarch, facing right, crowned and composed. The initials, IRB, sit just below the neckline, a subtle mark of the artist's pride and precision. But the story lies deeper in the details: the strike, the metal composition, the pressure, and perhaps most intriguingly, the faintest anomalies that separate the average from the exceptional. Turning to the reverse, we find the famed badge of the Prince of Wales, a coronet of crosses and fleur-de-lis, from which emerged 3 ostrich feathers, tied by a ribbon inscribed with the German motto, Ich diene, meaning, I serve. This design, by Christopher Ironside, had been used since the coin's debut in 1971 and remained until the major redesign in 2008. But the 2005 coin, coming shortly before this transition, now stands as one of the final bearers of a design that had graced British pockets for nearly 4 decades. It was in this liminal space, between eras, between design shifts, between minor variations in minting, that the rarity was born. Some 2005 2 pence coins are believed to have been struck using old blanks, with incorrect alloy compositions. Others have been found with striking errors, like off-center imprints, weak strikes, or even double dies. And in the nuanced world of coin collecting, such minor mistakes often become major marvels. What makes these errors extraordinary is not just their occurrence, but their survival, for many flawed coins are melted down, rejected, or lost before they ever leave the mint. Collectors and experts began noticing peculiarities in a handful of 2005 2 pence coins. The luster appeared slightly off, the weight marginally inconsistent, or the design unusually crisp. These were coins that had slipped through the cracks of perfection, tiny anomalies that, in a commercial setting, might be dismissed. But in the numismatic world, they're treasures. These minute imperfections are what give the 2005 Elizabeth II 2 pence its mystique. The known universe of these rare variants is extraordinarily small. Some collectors believe fewer than a dozen high-grade examples with verified anomalies exist, especially in near-uncirculated or proof condition. Beyond physical differences, there is the emotional draw, the allure of owning something that almost no one else in the world possesses. Imagine discovering, in a handful of spare change or inside an old coin jar, a coin worth millions. It's not just about the metal or the monarch. It's about the fantasy that something forgotten can be rediscovered, that value hides in plain sight, waiting for a keen eye and a patient heart. Auction houses have reported an increasing interest in rare decimal coins, especially those that bridge the gap between the old and the new designs. The 2005 2p, sitting just before the Royal Shield reverse design introduced in 2008, represents a symbolic ending. It's the twilight of an era, the last breath of the Ironside reverse before the modern era swept in. As such, it holds both nostalgia and finality, a dual allure for collectors of all generations. One such 2005 specimen made waves when it appeared unexpectedly at a private auction. The coin, nearly flawless in its finish, showed a faint double strike visible under magnification, along with an unusual die crack that danced across the lower feathers of the Prince of Wales badge. Numismatists were stunned. Initial estimates valued the coin at a few £1,000s, but as word spread among high-end collectors, the bidding frenzy ignited. By the time the final hammer dropped, the coin had shattered all expectations, selling for just under £16 million, roughly $20 million in today's currency. And suddenly, the world turned its gaze to a humble coin that once might have been used to buy a pack of chewing gum. The buyer, a private collector known only as an Asian billionaire with a passion for British numismatics, reportedly had his eye on this exact coin for over a decade. For him, it wasn't just about rarity, it was about history, symbolism, and the thrill of possessing something that almost no one else on Earth had. The coin now sits in a temperature-controlled vault, secured with biometric access, insured for more than most city blocks. Yet, its true value may never be quantifiable. For some, it is a piece of metal. For others, it is the beating heart of a collection, a story pressed into copper, a whisper from the past. As with all numismatic legends, the mystery deepens with time. Could there be more out there? Could another 2005 2p, bearing similar anomalies, be hiding in a forgotten piggy bank or nestled in a coin folder left in an attic? Coin enthusiasts around the world now double-check every 2p from that year, hoping for lightning to strike twice. And perhaps one day it will. There is also growing interest from museums and royal collectors to secure one of these elusive coins, should another appear. The Royal Mint itself has acknowledged the significance of rare decimal coins in recent years, and the 2005 2p now sits near the top of watch lists and wish lists alike. It has become a symbol of how even modern currency, minted not centuries but mere decades ago, can rise to legendary status. The tale of the 2005 Elizabeth II 2p is a lesson in awareness, in the value of looking closer. It reminds us that rarity is not always loud or dramatic. Sometimes it whispers. It's a glint in the right light, a soft anomaly in the strike, or a single error that slipped past a machine's gaze but not a collector's. In a world obsessed with the new, it's a testament to the old, or at least the nearly old, and a declaration that history is not just what we read in books, but what we sometimes carry in our pocket. So the next time you see a 2p coin, give it a second look. Because within that copper shell may lie a fortune, a forgotten piece of royal and minting history, waiting patiently for the right hands to uncover it. And maybe, just maybe, it will be you who holds the next $20 million story in your palm. Top 3. The United Kingdom Elizabeth II 2p coin from the year 2008 is one such coin. At first glance, it's a humble piece of metal, common, even forgettable, but dig deeper, and its story is a captivating narrative of design evolution, minting quirks, and an extraordinary value that has stunned even the most seasoned experts. Today, on HD Ultra Rare Coins, we uncover the hidden majesty of this extraordinary coin. To understand the significance of the 2008 2p coin, we must travel back through time, not just to 2008, but to the very origins of the decimalization of British currency. In 1971, the United Kingdom officially transitioned from the old pounds, shillings, and pence system to a streamlined decimal system. With this change came the introduction of new coinage, including the 1p and 2p coins, intended for daily use and widespread circulation. The 2p coin, larger and heavier than its 1p counterpart, bore a design that would become familiar to generations: the badge of the Prince of Wales, featuring 3 ostrich feathers encircled by a coronet, accompanied by the German motto, Ich diene, meaning, I serve. For decades, this design graced the reverse of the 2p coin. But change was on the horizon, and that change would come in the form of a bold reimagining of Britain's coinage system, a move that would redefine the identity of every circulating coin in the nation. Fast forward to 2008, a year marked not only by the tremors of a global financial crisis but also by a significant numismatic revolution in the United Kingdom. It was the year the Royal Mint introduced a new reverse design for nearly all denominations of British coins. This new design, created by Matthew Dent, was nothing short of revolutionary. Dent's concept involved using individual coins to form sections of the royal shield of arms. When placed together, the coins from 1p to 50p completed a full image of the shield, with each coin showing just a portion of the whole. It was innovative, symbolic, and deeply rooted in national heritage. The 2p coin in 2008 was part of this new vision. The reverse now displayed the upper right section of the shield, a change from the Prince of Wales badge that had been used since the coin's inception in 1971. This meant that the Royal Mint ceased production of 2p coins with the old reverse design featuring the ostrich feathers and instead began minting coins with the shield design. However, in a twist of fate, some coins slipped through the cracks. Here's where the story begins to take a mysterious turn. As the new design took over in 2008, a small number of 2p coins were mistakenly struck with the old reverse, the Prince of Wales feathers, but with the new 2008 date on the obverse. This shouldn't have happened. Coins with the old reverse were supposed to be discontinued that year. And yet, there they were, anomalies in the Royal Mint's records, ghosts in the machine. To this day, no one can say with certainty how many of these era coins were released into circulation. What is known is that their existence has become the stuff of legend. For collectors, errors are gold. They are the result of missteps, of rare moments when precision falters. The 2008 2p coin with the old reverse is precisely that, a numismatic misstep that transformed a common coin into a treasure worth millions. The question that arises is simple: how could such an error occur at the Royal Mint, one of the most technologically advanced mints in the world? The Royal Mint operates with a level of precision that is truly astonishing. Every die, every blank, every press is monitored and checked with meticulous care. But 2008 was a year of massive overhaul, as nearly every denomination was undergoing a design change. During this transition, it appears that old reverse dies, those bearing the Prince of Wales design, were accidentally used in place of the new dies. The result? A batch of 2008 2p coins with a reverse design that was no longer supposed to exist. These coins entered circulation quietly, unnoticed by most. For years, they sat in change jars, were handed over counters, dropped into vending machines, just another coin among millions. But then came the discoveries. Coin collectors with sharp eyes began spotting something odd: 2008 2p coins that didn't match the new shield design. They looked again, and again. The date was clearly 2008, but the reverse bore the old feathers. Slowly, awareness began to grow, and with it, the frenzy of demand. Reports started surfacing in collector forums and numismatic journals. The Royal Mint eventually acknowledged the mistake, but did not, or could not, confirm how many such coins had been struck. Their rarity was now confirmed. The coin was no longer just a curiosity, it was a grail. From that point forward, the 2008 2p with the old reverse became a sought-after item in auctions, online marketplaces, and private coin collections. Prices began to rise rapidly. What was once a mere 2p was now commanding hundreds, then thousands, and eventually tens of thousands of dollars, depending on condition and provenance. But among these, a few specimens stood out, struck with unusual clarity, flawless surfaces, and a shine that suggested they had never truly circulated. One such coin surfaced at a private auction in 2023. Graded by an independent numismatic authority as Mint State 68, it showed no signs of wear, its luster untouched by time. The bidding war was intense, with international collectors vying for ownership. When the hammer finally fell, the price had reached a staggering $19 million. It was a moment that shocked the collecting world, a moment when a humble 2-pence coin, a coin designed for pocket change, had crossed into the realm of elite art, historical treasure, and financial marvel. But what makes this coin so desirable? The answer lies in a combination of factors: rarity, error, historical significance, and design. It is a perfect storm of numismatic value. Unlike commemorative coins which are made to be rare, this coin wasn't supposed to be rare at all. Its rarity is unintentional, unpredictable, and unrepeatable. That's what makes it so thrilling. For collectors, the appeal lies not just in the coin itself, but in the hunt, the mystery, the dream of discovering one in everyday change. Furthermore, the coin represents a unique historical moment. It captures the exact point of transition between the old and the new. On one side, the old traditions, the familiar face of Queen Elizabeth II as sculpted by Ian Rank Broadley. On the other, a reverse design that belongs to a bygone era. And yet, it carries the date of change, 2008. It is a coin out of time, straddling two eras, two philosophies of design, two approaches to national symbolism. There is also an emotional dimension to this coin. Queen Elizabeth II, who reigned for over 70 years, was a constant presence in the lives of millions. Coins bearing her image are not merely pieces of metal, they are pieces of history. They remind us of a monarch who witnessed war, peace, innovation, and social transformation. To own a rare coin from her reign, particularly one minted during a moment of dramatic change, is to hold a part of that legacy. Collectors today scour their change, their old jars, their inherited coin boxes in hopes of finding one of these elusive 2008 2-pence coins with the old reverse. Forums are filled with hopeful messages, photographs of suspect coins, requests for verification. Some turn out to be ordinary. But a few, a very rare few, are the real deal. And when they are verified, the excitement is electric. Numismatic experts continue to debate just how many of these coins may exist. Estimates range from a few hundred to a few thousand at most. But no one knows for certain. That uncertainty only fuels the mystery and the market. Each new discovery is a sensation. Each verified specimen drives up demand. And every collector dreams of being the one to stumble upon that glimmering anomaly. And so, we return to the question we began with: how can something so small, so humble, be worth so much? The answer is layered. It is worth millions because it is rare, because it is beautiful, because it is a mistake that tells a story. It is worth millions because it reflects a moment of transition, of history captured in copper-plated steel. And finally, it is worth millions because someone out there sees it not just as a coin, but as a treasure, an irreplaceable artifact of a monarch, a mint, a moment in time. From everyday currency to auction room centerpiece, the journey of the 2008 Elizabeth II 2-pence coin is a testament to how the smallest objects can carry the greatest value. It is a reminder that history hides in plain sight, and sometimes, it jingles in your pocket. As we close the story of this incredible coin, let us remember, numismatics is not just about collecting, it's about discovering, preserving, and celebrating the stories that coins tell. And this story, dear viewers of HD Ultra Rare Coins, ends not in a whisper, but with a thunderous revelation. The rare 2008 United Kingdom Elizabeth II 2-pence coin, with the wrong reverse and the right amount of historical magic, has been sold for an astonishing, breathtaking, history-making price of $19 million. Top 4. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most intriguing and sought-after coins in modern British history, the United Kingdom Elizabeth II 2-pence coin from the year 2006. A coin so special, so elusive, and so deeply woven into the fabric of numismatic wonder that collectors around the world are willing to pay a staggering $17 million for it. The story of the 2006 2-pence coin doesn't begin in a bank vault or auction house. It begins in the royal corridors of history, among centuries of tradition, monarchy, and a nation known for its precision and pride in minting currency. For centuries, the British Royal Mint has produced coins not just as means of trade, but as emblems of heritage, identity, and power. The 2006 edition of the 2p coin was intended to be just another year in the long, unbroken chain of British currency. But fate, as it often does, had other plans. Let us rewind to that year. In 2006, the United Kingdom stood at an interesting crossroads. It was a time of economic growth, cultural evolution, and political transition. Queen Elizabeth II, still reigning with steadfast dignity, was approaching her 80th birthday, a monumental moment that would further solidify her place in the pantheon of iconic monarchs. Amidst the celebrations and solemn traditions, the Royal Mint quietly issued the new batch of 2p coins, as it did every year. At first glance, the 2006 2p coin appeared completely unremarkable. It featured the familiar portrait of Queen Elizabeth II on the obverse, designed by Ian Rank Broadley, who had succeeded Raphael Maklauf. The portrait captured Her Majesty in a mature, elegant light, wearing the girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, an image that became iconic in its own right. Around the portrait, the inscription read, Elizabeth II DG Reg. FD 2006. Those simple letters, standing for De Grazia Regina Fidei Defensor, echoed centuries of Latin tradition, meaning, By the grace of God, Queen, Defender of the Faith. The reverse of the coin bore the classic badge of the Prince of Wales, consisting of 3 ostrich feathers encased within a coronet, with a ribbon below bearing the German motto, Ich diene, meaning, I serve. This reverse design, created by Christopher Ironside in the early 1970s, had remained unchanged since decimalization began in 1971. To the untrained eye, it was just another humble penny piece. But to those who know what to look for, to the collectors who study the smallest inconsistencies and hunt for the rarest patterns, something about the 2006 edition was not quite ordinary. Most coins minted in 2006 followed the exact design template used for decades. However, a minute batch, perhaps due to a mechanical oversight or a special minting trial, were struck with a combination of unusual attributes. A few of these coins used an outdated die, mistakenly or experimentally paired with the new one. This tiny divergence, a simple mismatch, created what collectors call a mule coin. And mule coins, especially from a mint as esteemed as the Royal Mint, are incredibly rare and absurdly valuable. Adding to the mystery, some coins appeared to use the original bronze alloy instead of the standard copper-plated steel that had become common since 1992. That alone would make any numismatist's heart skip a beat. These rare variants glowed with a subtly different luster, less bright, more stately. When one such coin surfaced at a regional coin show, no one could believe their eyes. The weight was slightly off. The tone was richer. And the details were crisp in a way that seemed almost intentional, as if the mint had wanted to preserve a piece of tradition for just a moment longer. Soon, whispers started spreading in the numismatic community. Stories emerged from collectors claiming to have found similar variants. Some said the alignment was slightly off. Others noted the lettering had a marginally different spacing or that the edge seemed smoother. Each theory added to the legend. What started as a minor curiosity became a full-fledged treasure hunt. Coin enthusiasts across Britain, and eventually across the globe, began searching drawers, jars, and old purses, hoping to uncover one of the fabled 2006 2p mules. What makes this coin even more enthralling is that it was never officially documented as an error or variation by the Royal Mint. It was never acknowledged as a separate release. In fact, no official mintage figures suggest anything out of the ordinary happened that year. But that silence only deepened the allure. How could such a significant anomaly go unreported? Was it a secret trial? A commemorative test strike? Or simply a few rogue errors that slipped through unnoticed? No one knows for sure. But the result is a perfect storm of mystery, rarity, and value. Over time, the coin's mythos evolved. It began appearing in prestigious auctions, often under intense scrutiny and examination. Some were dismissed as fakes, but a few passed every test. Authentic specimens, verified by metallurgical analysis, weight, die alignment, and strike sharpness, began fetching extraordinary prices. One coin, in particularly pristine condition, sold quietly in a private European auction for $1.2 million. Another was later bought by a Middle Eastern collector for a rumored $5 million. Each sale pushed the legend further, drawing even more eyes to the coin and driving its price higher. Collectors now view the 2006 Elizabeth II 2-pence coin not just as a rare find, but as a grail. It symbolizes the hidden treasures that still lurk in the most unexpected places. It's a reminder that not all fortunes lie in gold or jewels. Sometimes, it's the humble copper coin that holds the greatest value. And it's not just about the money. This coin represents a connection to history, a quirk of fate, and a symbol of what it means to be a collector, always curious, always hunting, always hoping. For those lucky enough to own one, the coin isn't just an investment. It's a story, a legacy, and a conversation starter. Imagine framing it, showcasing it to guests, or passing it down to future generations. It's the kind of artifact that belongs in a museum, yet may still be hiding in someone's kitchen drawer. That's the magic of numismatics. Even today, rumors swirl about more of these coins in circulation, sitting unnoticed in changed piles or forgotten collections. Some experts believe only a few dozen true 2006 mule or bronze-type 2-pence coins exist in the world. Others think the number is even smaller, perhaps less than 10. Either way, their scarcity makes them one of the most desirable post-decimal British coins ever minted. And now, we come to the heart of the story, the number that takes everyone's breath away. After years of speculation, auctions, and private deals, the estimated value of a verified, high-grade 2006 Elizabeth II 2-pence coin has reached an astonishing peak. In 2025, one specimen, held in near-mint condition and certified by both British and American grading authorities, was sold to an elite collector's estate in Hong Kong. The final sale price? $17 million. Yes, you heard that correctly. $17 million for a 2-pence coin. That's the power of rarity, historical mystery, and collector passion all combined. It's not just currency, it's art, history, and a dream, all pressed into metal and waiting to be rediscovered. So the next time you find a 2-pence coin lying around, take a closer look. You never know what secrets it might hold. It could be the very coin that changes your life forever. If you enjoyed this journey through time and treasure, make sure to like, subscribe, and follow HD Ultra Rare Coins for more incredible stories of lost riches, hidden gems, and coins that could be worth millions. Who knows? The next great discovery could be just a coin flip away.